What is going on, guys? We are live.
Hello, everybody.
Can you guys hear Vicky?
Can you hear me?
Hopefully not.
I hope you can't.
Thomas says dance music no longer exists. Now it's this creepy starting screen forever. That is our mascot, Captain Manning.
I am so glad
The
that
Manning
damn music is
installation.
gone. That fucking music, man. So awful.
The Captain Manning installation. What is going on, guys? We've got a very, 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 very special show.
It is so special.
It is so special. I've lost, guys.
It's years in the making.
I totally lost. I caved even. I caved. I asked for nothing and I received nothing and I gave pretty much what amounts to nothing and I caved doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You did.
I did.
You crumbled.
Crumbled.
Folded like a cheap suit.
For those of you who don't know,
have no idea what we're talking about.
A long time ago, we were sued alongside my good, fat, stupid, obese, brain dead, morally deficient, nutritionally deficient, genetically deficient friend, Ethan Van Sciver. We were sued alongside that giant piece of trash, Ethan Van Sciver, for defamation by one Peggy Poulter
and John Lamont.
I guess not one, two. Yeah, we were sued. Ethan basically got his move to New Jersey. Vicky scoured. She ran. She dodged service, guys.
Yep.
She dodged it.
Yeah.
She dodged it like it was a draft in Vietnam.
I managed to avoid being served in California where I don't live. At the same time, I managed to avoid the crown.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But me, not so much.
Is it can they actually hear me? Because Zeno says, "Is Vicky here?"
Yes, they can hear you.
Okay. I'm not listening to the stream, so.
Yeah. Amit asked Manning, did he not end himself yet?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no. Fortunately, no. So, what happened, guys? Well, it's been like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, it was filed in April of 2021.
Yes. Yeah. And court was finally, after 2021 in April to now, it's 2023, almost 2024. We finally had a court date. And guys, we got about 20 minutes in to the case. Yes, 20 minutes in, and then I caved. I gave in, guys.
He rolled over, he showed his belly.
I said, oh no. Oh golly
here's my neck.
No. Guys, they wanted... Vicky is old, Zeno.
I am old.
She is an old hag. Amit had it right.
Old. Hello, Amit.
They wanted $1.5 million from me, guys. And you want to know what they got? They got a very heartfelt apology for hurting their feelings.
That's it.
Yeah. But you don't have to hear it from me. Actually, you do. You get to hear it. Well, we read the transcript of the court case.
Yeah.
Preston seems to think that the judge, before anything was even done, immediately after opening statement, the judge said, This fucker's guilty. That piece of shit. He's guilty. So why don't you guys settle and basically he gives you just a statement. Even though he's guilty. Even though he's clearly guilty, that piece of shit, he libeled you.
But yeah, just take the apology.
Just take an apology, even though you're asking in the federal court for $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. Because
makes
that
all
makes
the sense in the world.
So, DNV. Here's a transcript, guys. Vicky, do you have your transcript pulled up?
I do.
All right. So it starts. The court. Okay, this is the case of Lamont and Poulter versus Ali Dean Assaf, also known as DA Talks. I'll call you Mr. You pronounce it as Assaf? Assaf? Assaf, okay. Yes, sir. I'll do my best to make sure I get it right, sir. Thank you, sir. I was very nervous. Very nervous, guys.
Well, saying sir is always a good idea.
Yeah. I know that because we had a joint pretrial conference and I didn't say sir. And the judge said, yes, sir. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, sir. And he said, yeah, see? Say sir next time. And I said, okay, sir. So I learned my lesson like a month ago. The court, and here representing the plaintiffs are Mr. Mastin and Mr. Ahmed. And y'all are ready? Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah. See, I'll be the judge and you be everybody else.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm assuming Mr. Lamont and Mr. Poulter are here. They are? There they are. Okay, and I don't need it, but it's up to y'all. I'll let you make an opening statement if you want to. Both sides have waived a jury trial, correct?
Yes, sir, and yes, Your Honor.
Okay, make sure you sign. Have the written waiver. Ronnie, I'm sure, has gotten that to you, and I think if you're ready to make an opening statement, a brief one, that will be fine. You've got the burden. I'll let you start.
And this is Mr. Matson, who is Poulter and Lamont's attorney, just so you guys all know. And he says, thank you, Your Honor. Would you prefer I stand or go to the lectern or...
As long as you speak up into that microphone, but it's not as loud. Wait a minute. I know good and well that my court reporter is going to have an apoplexy. Apoplexy. I don't know that word, guys. I'm retarded. If you don't come up to this mic, because he won't be able to hear you, he won't be apoplectic, but he will be happy that I'm going to make you do that. And I'm going to watch him shake his head up and down. And he did, by the way. Indicating in the affirmative. He did shake his head up and down.
I like how the court reporter put his own little note in there. Like, yeah, I nodded my head.
Yeah. Here we go. Now,
total self-insert.
Who are the folks back here? Do y'all need anything else? Are y'all here on this case, or Mr. Dare says...
Yes, sir. They're Mr. Assaf's family.
It was my parents, guys. They came to watch me in court. Oh, good. Good to have y'all here. Glad to have you. Okay, go ahead. Opening statement.
By Mr. Matson. Thank you, Your Honor. We've done a bit of briefing in this case, so I'll keep my opening statement brief so that we can get to the... And the court had to interrupt him and said, and you're Mr. Matson?
And you're Mr. Yes. Mastin.
Yes, Your Honor. I apologize for the record.
No, that's okay.
Jeremy Mastin. I'm here for John Lamont and Preston Poulter.
Okay.
This is a fairly simple case. Mr. Assaf went on YouTube and over the course of 8 videos published on YouTube over the course of 3 months, he repeatedly called Mr. Lamont a child enthusiast, a pedophile. He said specific things such as, quote, This guy makes comics depicting what are meant to look like underage chicks doing sexual acts. What else would you call that? I would call that a pedophile. Making 3D depictions of little girls having sex, actual evidence that this guy is fucking making pedophilic comics and, Your Honor, I apologize.
Oh no, go ahead. I mean, you've got to do what you've got to do. You're making your case, I understand.
I'm just quoting what the videos show. And he makes these comments over and over again on YouTube over the course of a few months, and then
Do you have a list of all of those comments for which you are complaining about?
I do, Your Honor.
I assume you do. They're right there in your hand.
That's funny. I do, Your Honor.
And are you going to offer those so that I don't have to look at 8 weeks worth of videos? Or do you, and
I hadn't planned on submitting this because I took out some of the extraneous stuff, but I'm sure Mr. Adair and I, maybe we can figure that out. I don't want to speak.
What about that, Mr. Adair?
Do you want to do Mr. Adair?
Yeah, sure. Your Honor, we do object to the clips. They're highly edited versions of hours-long shows. Now, I will agree that Mr. Mastin, the relevant discussion was not hours long, but they've cut things down into sound bites that are highly misleading. And as you know, the context really matters in a defamation case. In particular, okay, I mean, does it matter if he says this? He is a pedophile. Is there context to that? There is some context because, one, he does provide background in a number of cases of why he says things like, well, he can do that when he gets on the stand, can't he? Your Honor, we'll present some of that evidence, but we don't have the videos, some of those clips. For example, Plaintiff's Exhibit 3 and 4, they were on somebody else's show. We've never seen the whole context. Some of the clips that Mr. Mastin is preparing to show is actually, y'all haven't been through all this in your discovery and looked at all this. You're in a federal court. Do you understand? Y'all should have done all this long before now. My attorney says, I agree, Your Honor. I have longer clips which provide the full context for several of these statements that were made, but I do want to note that Mr. Mastin just cut certain videos, and it may have been his client. Well, they're going to be cut some because it's not going to have the whole video, but you're saying he cut some of the context out? Yeah. Like when Mr. Asaf says, well, that's my take. What do you think? To others. So and then there's another thing where he makes the comment, this is pedophilic. Well, okay, so can't you let this in and say, but Judge, that's subject to putting it in context, which we're going to offer. We can do that, Your Honor. Why don't we do that? That's fine. And that way, I mean, there's no jury here. I'm not going to be swayed by not giving you an opportunity to offer the context. I get what you're saying. Sure, I appreciate that. And as I said, we do not have, I believe it's anything other than the clips from Exhibits 3, Plaintiff's Exhibit 3 and 4. Those were YouTube, other people's YouTube channels. It was one person in particular. That person has actually passed away, and his channel has been taken down. So we don't have any context for what was said other than we only have this clip. You don't have the full, correct. Movie or whatever, correct. Okay. So what are you intending to offer, Mr. Mastin?
Real quick, I'm just going to break in here. Testidie Day is coming up. In about a month and a half.
That's who was referenced.
We will be having a party this year. We missed it last year, but this year for certain, we will be having a stream party for Testidie Day.
Our favorite holiday.
Our favorite, Mr. Matson, then continues, Your Honor, I think you hit the nail on the head a moment ago. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of context for, quote, he's a pedophile. I've got the actual evidence.
I know, but what are you intending to offer before I said anything?
Understood, Your Honor. So we've put together 8 clips that and Mr. Poulter will testify about.
Are any of those in the ones he has doesn't have any ability to go and look at on whatever, or
The clips that we're going to offer have been provided to him and were provided several months ago. And in terms of the whole video, we don't think there's a context in that video that's going to change the meaning of he makes comics.
okay, how many of those are there? How many are we talking about that are that issue? That the guy is dead and we can't see. I believe it's 2 in that case. Okay. When we get to those, let me know and say, look, we can only provide certain, but can't you provide some context in those? Or I'll just rule at the time that you weren't able to, or whatever it is. I mean, my client may be able to testify that that was discussed on a show, but I don't know. He's going, I'm assuming he's going to testify.
And that's Dean he's referring to.
Yes. I'm guessing he's the first witness. Maybe not. I don't know. He'll be
the second.
Oh, yeah, that's you. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. There we go. See, so we'll just deal with those 2 at the time, okay? All right. And you just say, Judge, this is one of those. All right. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you, Your Honor. You betcha. All right. What else?
So we've got these statements that the videos, we've edited them down because they're hour and a half, 2-hour videos, but Mr. Poulter would testify he's the one who downloaded the videos, cut out all the extraneous stuff, and don't think that there's a context that changes the meaning of these sentences. We also don't think that merely saying, that's my opinion, that's my take, that doesn't change the meaning of what was said. You can't say, for example, this guy makes comics depicting what are meant to look like underage chicks doing sexual acts, but that's just my opinion. That doesn't change that it's a statement of fact. And then on top of that, at least one occasion, he says, you show that this guy's a pedophile, actual evidence that this guy is fucking making pedophilic comics. And when you make statements like that under Texas law, that pushes it into actionable statements of fact. You can't just call it an opinion and get out of liability. So he makes these comments over the course of 3 months in 8 videos. And, we're going to show, number 1, the statements that he made. Number 2, that they were false. We think they're defamatory per se. Calling somebody a pedophile fits into the definition, and a child pornographer fits into the definition of defamatory per se. And one of the interesting things that I noticed in the joint pretrial order was it appears that they're going to contest some of the statements were about Lamont and Poulter and.
Well, we can see when we get to them.
We can see when we get to them. We think they're clearly about our guys. Now, there's 2.
And you have some proof on damages?
Your Honor, you see where I was going. I was going to say there's 2 kinds of complicated issues. One of them is whether they're private individuals or public figures. We think they're private individuals, clearly under the definition of the law. We'll get into that more later. Now, damages, I'll be frank with you, Judge.
This was the best part.
That is the weakest part of our case. We got evidence for it. We've got, the fact that they have lost business relationships because all this stuff is out there and people don't know who to side with. They've had to take off time to deal with this stuff. And, when this case started, I'll be honest with you, Judge. When this case started, we thought the damages were gonna be a lot higher, and as things happened, they weren't as high as we thought they were gonna be. But there is evidence that Mr. Lamont and Mr. Poulter both suffered damages, both in terms of lost profits, lost sales, lost business relationships, as well as some of the softer damages. For example, Mr. Lamont is just a he works for a property management company. He's just a guy that if anybody Googles him, this is gonna pop up, and he's worried about that and what the consequences of that are gonna be. He could lose his job. If he applies for a job, is he not gonna get it?
That's kind of shoulda, woulda, coulda, maybe. I mean, that hasn't happened.
That's fair, Judge. I'm not and so what I want to be clear, at this point, I'm not talking about there's a job that he lost because of this. I'm saying he suffered.
He might. Everything is he might at this point, except whatever business opportunities were turned away. And I'm assuming we're going to have some evidence of that or we're not.
We're going to have testimony about lost sales.
So no.
So no.
I would have hired him due to XYZ, but for this?
Mr. Poulter will talk about that. What I'm talking about here, though, is the anxiety and the stress and the lost sleep that they've dealt with.
Yeah, okay.
Because these allegations are out there.
Yeah, okay, all right.
And
how many witnesses have you got?
I'm going to call 3 witnesses. We're going to go to Mr. Poulter first, then Mr. Asaf, then Mr. Lamont.
Okay, and I'm assuming you don't have any other witnesses other than that, do you, Mr. Adair? That's correct. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, and y'all have got these motions in limine. I mean, you don't need to worry about. I mean, it's in front of me. If I ruled they would be out, I mean, you just don't want me to hear it. I would have to hear it to rule on it. So, kind of wasting time, okay? I agree. The only issue is the one we've talked about. Yeah, we're going to deal with that. I agree. Thank you. And so your motions in limine are to, I think most of this is when you still had you were going to have a jury. That's correct. They were filed at that time. Okay, you just make your objections at the time, and I'll rule on them at the time, okay? We'll do that. All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, anything else?
The one thing I wasn't sure on, Judge, there are some agreed exhibits, and I don't know.
How many exhibits do you have?
We have 15 on our list. I know they object to several of them. And they have 35 of which we object to about 28 of them.
Okay, couldn't you agree on those 7?
I agreed to the 7.
No, you said that they have 20.
They have 35.
And you agreed to 28 of them?
We agreed to 7 of them.
7 of them? Okay.
7. The other one's it's the same objection to all of them. One of them is that we don't think it's relevant. Of course, you're going to have to hear it to decide if it's relevant and if it's going to factor into your decision. The second one that we can deal with now is that these ones that we are objecting to, we didn't get them until Tuesday of last week. Not in discovery, not in nothing. And so we object to...
How many of them are like that? What are they?
It's defendant's exhibits.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What kind of exhibits are they?
Okay, so...
I'm assuming these are what they want to show that shows your guys are what they're doing with their comic books. There are pictures of this and that.
Exactly, Your Honor. So one of them is the comic itself. Our only objection is the timeliness of it, but I'm not going to die on that hill. Then we've got a series of the scripts of the comics that
The words?
the words, because they write out a script before they draw it.
Well, it might be relevant, might not. All right. So y'all just object at the time, and I'll rule on them at the time. Y'all should have worked this out, but I understand you haven't been able to work anything else out in this. So I'm not shocked, and I'm not shocked you haven't been able to work this out. It's about as strange a lawsuit as I've ever seen from both sides, and for both you lawyers, I'll bet you'll never handle another one of these in your careers. So anyways, we'll work through it the best we can and give everybody their fair shot. And here we go. So just object at the time, okay? I appreciate that, Your Honor. And yes, as you know, I came into this quite late. So, okay, it doesn't matter when you came in. Does that make the case any less different? No. I'm glad you came in. Yeah.
I want to say this part.
Mercy. I would be dealing with a pro se, and that would be terrible. So let me just say that was you were smart to get a lawyer. And this is me. Thank you, sir. Okay, and that was good. All right. And so what do you want out of this?
Your Honor, number one, we would like a judgment that he did commit defamation, which will show that his statements about being a pedophile and child pornographer are false. And then number two, we're asking for damages.
And we'll get to that when we get to that, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
You just want a statement to that at least, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and I think that's all that I needed to tell you about. Oh, wait, sorry. That's you.
And I think that's all I needed to tell you about in the opening statements, so I'll cede the lectern.
Oh, okay, here we go. Let me see the lawyers for a second. I've got a question to ask y'all.
Sure. Yeah, this is where they all show up. Fuck. This is just too much.
All right, we're going to take about 15 minutes. All rise.
All right. Everybody leaves. They all go off and do their thing.
15 minutes turned into an hour and 32 minutes. And during this time, we basically came to an agreement. Basically, instead of Preston getting anything, what if I just made a statement?
Well, I mean, that's literally what they said. We just want a statement and our damages, right? He told that to the judge right here. You know, and that's it.
Yeah.
The judge asked him, you just want a statement to that at least, okay? And he's like, yeah.
And the statement was edited multiple times. It started with like my opinion hurt you. I said a couple of things, and then it turned into from their edit, my opinions were negligent and false and caused harm, and I was like, no fucking way. Because they weren't. And then it turned into, let's read it, guys. After 7 times of going back and forth, the all rise, back on the case of Lamont and Poulter versus Asaf. Mr. Asaf. Yes, sir? Asaf, is that right? Am I pronouncing it right? Yes. And it's cause number 321CB011766K. It's my understanding that y'all have reached some sort of agreement. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't know. I got lost a little
My
bit.
clients are coming down the hall.
Yeah, my clients are coming down the hall. Can I just...
Oh, no, take your time. But is that correct? That is correct, Your Honor. All right. in exchange for a statement, okay, we're not, I'll wait. And then we pause. It's the other fellow out there too? Judge,
yeah. Oh, he must have been, this is Mr. Ahmed. I guess Mr. Matson went off to the John.
No. He was still there.
Or somebody did. Judge, he went to use the restroom. He'll be right back.
No problem. Off the record, discussion off the record. Okay, all right. Let's get back on the record, all right. Who, you both agree that we've reached some sort of settlement?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And we need to put it in the record, correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you going to do it, or are both of you going to do it, or how are we going to do it?
Mr. Asaf is going to read his statement into the record.
Okay. In exchange, obviously, for the statement, plaintiffs agreed to dismiss their claims against him. Okay, and then everybody walks away paying their own expenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's correct. Okay. Yes. Go ahead. And here's the statement, guys. The statement, which is me caving in and giving in on several occasions in 2021. I called John Lamont a pedophile and stated he should be shot. I also questioned why Preston Poulter was publishing John Lamont's art, which I considered child pornography. I admit these statements were careless. I realized that my statements caused Lamont and Poulter pain. I'm sorry. I will take down my videos containing those statements.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And
so in exchange for that, we'll file paperwork dismissing our claims.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes. Oh, this is... God, you're going to make me read Preston. Yes, sir. You need to say it out loud. Mr. Poulter says, yes, Your Honor.
And you're Mr.
Poulter.
And you're Mr. Lamont?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
And you agreed to dismiss your claim because of that statement? Even the judge is having a hard time accepting that it was this easy. He's like, that was it?
Are you fucking
You guys
sure?
asked $1.5 million?
And this is
and
all
you're satisfied with this? Here's the thing, guys. Pause from the transcript. This settlement is so embarrassing for Poulter. He should have asked for an NDA.
Yeah.
He really should have.
And he probably should have asked for a bilateral non-disparagement clause as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it's bad.
It's embarrassing. You asked for $1.5 million. You got nothing. You got I'm sorry for my opinion. I'm sorry it caused you pain.
And here's me admitting what I've never denied in the first place.
Which is, it's my opinion.
Yeah. It's a pretty sad result if you're Preston spending all that money just to get that when he could have done better.
Yeah.
He had an opportunity a couple months ago to do a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, the outcome is a lot. It's embarrassing when you were asking 1.5 million. You claimed I damaged you super, super, super hard and super serious, and all you got was this. The real issue is, guys, they could have actually gotten so much more because I was willing to settle with them 2 months ago. in mediation. And I offered them, check this, guys, non-disparagement. Essentially, it was this. It was this, guys, except all of us sign a non-disparagement, and I don't get to talk shit at all. I offered this deal to them. Basically, everything they got here, which was nothing, but on top of that, they don't get to deal with this. Me talking a lot of shit.
We can still talk shit.
And they said, no, we want $1.5 million from you.
Well, no.
Actually, no, they wanted $7,500 at the mediation. And I said...
And they wanted you to sign a non-disparagement clause.
Yes.
And they didn't have to.
And
so
on
Preston
top of that, Vicky,
gone out there
on top of that,
the
Vicky,
fuck he wanted.
On top of that, they wanted $7,500. And I said, look, that was the best deal you're ever gonna fucking get. That non-disparagement deal that I offered, best deal you're ever gonna fucking get. I'm not giving you a fucking cent. I will never giving you a fucking cent. I will never, ever, ever, ever give either of you a fucking dime. You should have taken the non-disparagement deal. And they walked. And you want to know what they got instead? Absolutely fucking nothing. Except for me saying, I considered John Lamont's art child porn, and I questioned why Preston Poulter would publish it. I'm sorry for hurting your feelings. They should have fucking taken the deal at mediation. It was 1,000 times better. And they are truly retarded. Because now they have nothing. And I get to talk all the shit I want.
One of the clips that they had was 2 minutes and 15 seconds long and contained 8 edits. 2 of those were in the middle of sentences. That was Preston's idea of removing the extraneous content.
Yep.
So if that tells you that's what they had, literally just highly edited video clips. And fucking Cheyenne, man. She said the videos were edited. Did he never said? Never said. He never said what he said. I said that they were edited to be deceptive, which I felt they were. I mean, you can't, 8 fucking edits in a 2-minute clip is kind of crazy. That is true, Dave. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think that is gonna be it. Preston, you really fucked up.
So, he is vowing to appeal the dismissal for me from this case. So once the final judgment gets filed with the court, which will probably be in about 2 or 3 weeks, then he has 30 days.
Yeah.
To file his appeal. Well, in front of the 5th Circuit Court. So,
is it better than your boy Zach's agreement?
Yeah. He's not allowed to talk about Mark Wade.
Yeah, essentially I was willing to give them that.
Yeah, your boy Zach spent almost $500,000, and he can't even open his mouth. And look at you.
Yeah, I offered them. I said, look, I'm not going to give you a cent, but we could all walk away from this now, and none of us talk shit. And they said no. And now they get nothing after begging the court for $1.5 million. They get nothing, and I get to talk all the shit I want. Preston, you're a stupid cuck faggot.
Just wait until New Jersey.
You stupid cuck shit-eating faggot.
It's going to cost him about at least $1 million.
Good fucking job.
Nice.
I fucking love this. He's in his Discord saying, The judge agreed it was libel. The judge
No, he
said
didn't.
the judge looked at the evidence. No evidence was entered in yet, Preston. And I've said there's no point to lie about this. There's a transcript. And he said the judge looked at the evidence, agreed it was libel, and said, instead of awarding us anything, maybe he could just apologize. But he agreed that it was libel. That son of a bitch, he fucking did it. How does that make sense, dude?
It makes no sense.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Absolutely no sense. But they all bought it, you know, like the dipshits in there, they buy that shit. They're like, okay, Preston, you know.
Only somebody as dumb and dim-witted as Cheyenne
and Larry Holder.
And Larry Holder would believe such a thing. She even posted the transcript and said, look, but guys, to be fair, it's not her fault. We all knew she was too stupid to read.
That is true.
And she's just kind of taking Preston's word because she has to.
Didn't he loan her money at one point too, I think?
I don't know. But she's not the brightest bulb.
And then when confronted earlier today on Twitter about it, Preston says, oh, well, it must have been, you know, off the record.
Oh no, I loved when he said, I apologize for any inaccuracies in my reporting.
And Cheyenne goes, it's okay, I still believe you.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You know, his reporting hasn't been accurate since we dumped his ass back in 2020.
Yeah.
When he had us telling him what was going on.
But
even back then, he always stole clips. There's no way he fucking clipped that thing and edited it up.
What I loved, though, is, like, if you actually looked, it was, like, the videos that they entered in, they're literally at, like, 144p. It's like, I stream in 1080p, asshole. Why is this 144p, you piece of shit?
Somebody recorded it on their phone. Yeah. It's just nuts.
Preston paid Cheyenne to bring over the can of Crisco and baby oil so she could make the scooter payments.
Oh, Glenn.
You beautiful cat. All right,
God,
guys.
I love you, Clickety Cat.
I think that's going to be it for this one.
I think so, too.
What do you guys think? Did I lose big?
If I did, what
did I lose? I wasn't asking for shit. Tell us what you think in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe or don't. Probably won't. Most of the people watching are probably subscribed.
Yeah,
like the stream, share it, talk shit, talk all the shit in the comments. Leave Preston alone, for sure. He's had a rough one. He's lost.